Hi there, I'm Raj, and as some of you probably know, I've been riding motorcycles for a while here in Abu Dhabi. It's a great day here today. It's been raining and it's a very rare occurrence here. So COVID-19 isolation notwithstanding, I thought I'll come out here today and talk a little bit about something that people have been asking me about for a long time. I've been importing motorcycles from the US, buying them, bringing it here. So I've done it. I've shipped in about 3 bikes over the last 4 years. And this beauty here is my most recent shipped bike. I did it in about 2018, late 2018, and I've owned it since. I just wanted to talk to you about the procedure for buying a bike in the States, riding it there, and then shipping it down. Now this can be split into two. There are some people who find a bike somewhere where they don't know how to register it to their name, and therefore they're not able to ride it locally. But the intention is to ride it and bring it to wherever they're going, whichever country they want to. Now in my case, I was trying to buy a bike in the US, ride it there, and then ship it down to Abu Dhabi. In the past, what I had done is I had actually bought a bike from the East Coast. I was not able to ride it because DMV, the Department of Motor Vehicles in most states in the US, it's a state subject, and most of them require that you have a state residence ID before you can register a vehicle to your name. So you can't ride it unless you have a registration. The only state where they allow you to do that is in California. So I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Let me break this up into two. First, I'll talk about buying a bike there, shipping it down here. You cannot ride it because you don't get registration locally. So let's say you go to the East Coast, you find the bike that you want, you identify it, you go talk to them and decide on the price, and then you want to now buy it and then bring it down here. Of course, you cannot ride it because they will not give you registration till the time you show them that you have valid residence in that state. So therefore that doesn't arise. If you want to ship it, it's very easy. You buy the bike, there is something called the title. This is what a title looks like. So here, this is a title from the state of California. This is in my name, and this is the original title. This is a document that shows that you own the bike. It has all the details of the bike, the VIN number, the date it was registered, and so on, the model number, the type, and so on and so forth. And here you will find whenever there is a change in the ownership, the title change has to be done at this point. So you would write your name, the name of the new owner, and you would sign off, and with each subsequent owner you would find that there would be a different detail in each of these columns as the bike or the vehicle changes ownership. Now you have to have this if you need to ship the bike out. So you get the title, change it to your name. So obviously this title would be in the name of the original owner. You would have to get your name here and then signed off by the original owner with an odometer disclosure. Along with that, you need to get a bill of sale. A bill of sale is just a document that says that this motor vehicle with that particular VIN number has been sold to so-and-so person, and it has to be from the legal owner who owns a motorcycle. So this is what it is. It's something like this. This is what a bill of sale would look like. Now this will has to be, ideally it would be better if you get the bill of sale attested by a notary. So that way you are very sure about the legality of the document. Once you have the bill of sale and the certificate of title, you can take it across to the shipping agency. I use an agency called AEC, Atlantic Express Corporation. They have offices on the East Coast. They've got in Norfolk in Virginia, in Savannah in Georgia. They've got an office in Houston. And then of course on the West Coast, they've got offices in Los Angeles and Seattle in Washington State. So they're pretty good, and they ship directly to Dubai, Jebel Ali. So that's very easy for us, and you don't need to get a container for yourself or something. You can tell them it's a motorcycle, you just wedge it between a few cars in one container, and it's very cheap. I'll get to the money part later on. Now the second part of what I was trying to say was, what if you want to buy it there, ride it for a while and then bring it down? That was when it becomes really tricky. The only place where you can do it legally, as far as I know, is in California, because in California, even if you don't have state residence and you're a foreigner with no valid residence in the United States, you can still buy a motor vehicle, register it to yourself, and it's very simple. You go with the owner who currently owns that vehicle, go to the DMV and apply for a registration. Now this is what you would get, a title. But before you get to the title, they would give you something like a temporary registration form. This is your registration. This is your registration document that says that it is registered in your name. Once this is done, this can be done at the DMV office in, let's say, if you're in California, in Los Angeles, you are in for Venice Beach or somewhere Long Beach where I was. I just went to the AAA office, which does DMV services. It's very easy. Go with the owner. As long as he has AAA service membership, go with the owner, who's the current owner. He will pay the required fee. This is about $380, and you will get this registration form immediately. It takes about 15 minutes. You have to just show some valid ID, your overseas license, or your passport, or some valid ID. You can use the same address. You will have to give some address. You'll have to use the same address as the person who's selling it, or you can use a friend's address. I've not used a hotel address, so I wouldn't know. I used a friend's address. So I have a friend there in whose address I put I showed my address as, and then they immediately gave me this. After you get this is a document that you can use as valid registration while you are there until you get your certificate of title. So a certificate of title comes by post about 14 days later, and it comes to your address that you've given there. This is the title that comes to you. Once you have it, everything is fine. You're ready to ship the bike out. So you will have to wait for 14 days after the registration till you get the title. So only then can you ship the bike out. So remember that. You need 14 days. Now the tricky part here is, of course, this has to be supported with all the other documentation like your bill of sale and so on and so forth. Because you're buying it, you have to have it, because when you ship it out, you'll need it. Now the tricky part is when you ride locally in the States, you need insurance. Now where do you get insurance from? Well, there are some firms that offer insurance. I think there is a firm called Fernet, F-E-R-N-E-T. That's an insurance broker. I believe they give insurance, motor vehicle insurance, for people with a foreign driver's license or not resident in the States. You can try that. I've not tried it. What I did though was I went to my friend again, who rides a motorcycle. So it was very easy. What he did was, he currently has insurance for himself. He just took me out as an additional rider and then gave me and added me onto his insurance policy. So he just added my motor vehicle on. This is the bike that I bought. So he just added this bike onto his insurance policy, and everything was fine. I paid, I think, about $200, something he had to pay for that. It's for short term, but the term will not be for a few days, as 2 weeks or something like that. It will be valid as long as he doesn't cancel it. So once you finish your ride, he can cancel it and so on. That will be the easiest way to do it. But if you don't have a friend, I really don't know what to do. You will probably have to go to Fernet and ask and find out whether they will give you insurance with a foreign driver's license. So that's all you need to do. Once you do this, you just take the bike and take it to the shipper's office, and you fill out the shipping documentation, which goes something like this. It has got they will make up a manifest with your address and everything. This is your receipt. Once you provide the vehicle details and you hand over the vehicle, they will make all of this, and they will take a copy of your title, and of course they will take a copy of your bill of sale, and then finally they will give you you have to sign off power of attorney, because that is what you need to give them to clear your vehicle through customs. You also have to give them a proof of your residence overseas, wherever you're shipping to. So you have to show them that you've got a valid visa or a residence permit and so on, and you give them your address. So once it comes to Dubai, in which in my case it was in Jebel Ali, the shipping company took care of everything. They clear it out of customs, and then they will even deliver it to you on a flatbed truck all the way down to Abu Dhabi, which is what they did for me. Very easy. Now coming down to the cost altogether, see, first of all, there is a customs duty in Abu Dhabi. So it's a 5% customs duty. It will be waived off if you're a UAE national, but for every foreigner who imports, you'll have to pay the 5% customs duty. Other than that, the shipping cost, I paid maybe about $400 to $500 for the actual cost of shipping from, let's say Los Angeles to Dubai. And from the East Coast, I think I paid something similar, maybe $400 or $500 from Norfolk in Virginia to this, which was a bike that I had shipped in a couple of years ago. And other than that, the cost is the clearance here, which costs maybe in the region of about $500 or $600 in Abu Dhabi. Of course, the 5% customs duty. So altogether, you're looking at about $1,200 or $1,400 extra. So of course, the cost of your customs duty is extra. It depends on what the bike value of the bike is, so you have to be the best judge of what it will, whether it's worthwhile shipping it and so on and so forth. I got this bike from Long Beach. rode it for 2 weeks on the West Coast and then brought it here. I'm really happy with it. I've done about maybe 15,000, 18,000 kilometers on it now, and it's a real beauty. It's a 2012 Goldwing. And this year end, maybe I will go down to the States and buy a more recent 2018 or 19 Goldwing. So if you have any questions, let me know, and I'll be happy to answer them. You can put them down in the comments box. So bye from here, bye from Abu Dhabi, bye.